Yeah. So before I dive into my part, we dove into a personal issue to me, and that is, or that is small town organizing. I grew up in a county of 5,000 with one stoplight. So, I've got some experience with rural communities, and I even in a thinking about Baltimore and Maryland, even in a place like Baltimore, which is so heavily Democratic, there are a lot of conservatives still have a lot of conservatives around for them to work with. It just based on population numbers. Chicago may go Democrat every single time, but there's 8 million people in the metro area, and that includes a lot of collar counties with conservative leanings and things like that. So, growing up as someone who at 11 read Machiavelli's The Prince, and then dove into The Art of War, and then transitioned to the Manifesto, I can say being a progressive, being a socialist in these rural communities is probably about the loneliest political existence in our country. But they are there, right? In that county of 5,000, I didn't before I got on this call look up what our numbers were in 2020, but in 2016, hundreds of votes for Jill Stein came in, right? Rural communities are not being represented by the Republican Party, who is far more interested in representing agribusiness, which is devastating these communities. And the Democratic Party doesn't even try, right? These solidly red places, they don't even try. So there's a huge opening in rural communities, and it's a whole lot, the bar to meet is a whole lot easier, right? If you're running in a race where a few hundred votes gets you a win, you can knock those doors even without a team, right? You can talk to people one-on-one, and it's a scale that small green parties can handle. I do want to warn though, don't airdrop in, right? You need local organizers that you've built a relationship. If you're coming in from Baltimore into a small town, you're going to be met with the city versus rural conflict right off the bat that you're going to have to get over, and you're going to have to deal with the problems that come with airdropping in without a ground game. So a lot of what I just wanted to throw that out there. A lot of what Andrea said regarding the material conditions is very much what what my tech and social media and those things, especially in green circles where they're often misunderstood, are seen as these silver bead to go knock on doors, and that's just not the case. If we're doing that, we're misusing social media. Social media and systems are simply tools to help back up that organizing. So we've got to make sure that we're using them with that in mind. And before I really dive into systems, Andrea just mentioned, Howie says don't invite people to your, new people straight to your business meeting. It's absolutely true. We have to have multiple ways for people to engage with us, right? And social media and digital events and those kind of things are one of those ways. They're one of the different platforms that we can use to allow people to engage with us, that we can use to build a relationship, that we can use to develop organizers. But that said, you've got your local should have multiple ways every month for people to get involved, not just your membership meeting. Have an educational event like Andrea said. Do a panel workshop with another local organization and build that relationship. Have organizing meetings on issues. Have concrete ways, not just one, go to this meeting, that people can get involved and do the work. Because a lot of people have no interest in sitting in a business meeting. At the same time, the people that are interested in admin and bylaws and the kind of things that you'll do at a business meeting, they might not have any interest in organizing around an issue, right? So when we only have a very small number of ways to engage, we automatically likely exclude the overwhelming majority of potential supporters. So it's really have social events. I've always used the Shawnee Green Party in Southern Illinois as an example. Before the COVID pandemic, they had 3 events every month. They had their business meeting, like we all do. They had a monthly workshop on an educational workshop on an event that they almost always partnered with another organization on. So they were building those ties there. And then they had a social event at a bar once a month called Green Drinks, where people would come, and absolutely work happened there, right? I've long said that in my experience, the best work when I've been at national meetings or state meetings or things like that, the best ideas, the most groundbreaking things aren't coming in the meeting. They're coming at 2 a.m. sitting in a bar when there's not a formal structure and someone throws out the idea, right? And then you go on it. So you've got to offer as many ways as you can to for people to engage.